Hello, everyone, and welcome to ParcelPal's channel. We're sitting here with CEO Rich Wheeless, and we're going to be diving into company updates, industry updates, and of course, introducing members of the team. So Rich is the perfect person to come on for the first one. Rich, how are you doing? Are you ready to dive into a bit about yourself?
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for having me as well.
Well, great to have you on. Like I said, you're the first person to start this off. So let's paint a picture of you for everybody. Let's start off by talking about your education a little bit. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I have a background in finance. I've corporate finance, undergrad degree in finance, graduate degree in finance as well. Originally wanted to start out to be a doctor, but decided that this would be a good route because I've always liked the markets and have been investing since I've been about 14 years old. So this was kind of a natural thing for me, a natural path progression.
Gotcha. So you had the businessman and entrepreneur spark at a young age, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I figured it's a great way to go. Looking back now, I think I turned out to do okay.
humble. We work for some of the
Yeah,
big companies. Tell us about some of your past work experience.
yeah. I've had kind of the non-traditional way of, because I've done a little bit of everything. As I said, I started out in private equity at Citigroup. Then from there went and kind of did the corporate finance route, went with a couple large medical companies, Cardinal Health, Johnson & Johnson, and then done a couple startups, one in the security space as well, and also another in the alternative energy space, which were both acquired by public companies.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I spent some time doing some turnarounds for the former governor of Ohio, John Kasich, doing some work there, had some success there. Did a public company before where I was a CFO that did fairly well. We raised about $40 million. The stock did very well, changed the business around, took advantage of a very hot market. So I've done a lot of things as opposed to also just sitting on numerous boards. And one of the things I love to do the most is I'm an angel investor.
Nice.
So people reach out and I invest in numerous companies during the year as well. And I really like to sit on boards, help people, and make things work. I like to tinker as well.
Interesting. Yeah. So you have a lot of experience in different places there, and I appreciate you working
Mm-hmm.
for John Kasich because I'm an Ohio guy myself. So thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. A wonderful governor, wonderful man. Still keep in touch. So he's done some phenomenal things, and ever since then, a lot of the work that we did is paid off. A lot of companies have still moved to Ohio, and it's one of the fastest growing states in the nation in terms of where capital is going. A lot of companies you see have been moving there. We've had some that have moved their headquarters there as well. But it's a great place to raise a family as well.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, thank you for bringing jobs to my state, sir. Can always appreciate that.
Yeah.
So tell me how you went from doing that to getting involved with ParcelPal. Tell me the story of how that got started.
Yeah. So the way it happened, it was a friend of a friend, really. So I had originally, so we had a exit at my last company, and the short version of it is, I had agreed to take a job at another company in Vancouver, and the night before I was going to do it, met with a friend of mine. I was having dinner, and he had mentioned a company to him that he's friends with the CEO of, and said, "Hey, I think your expertise could really help the company out with some of your skill set because what the company lacks is something you need." And as meeting went on, I was kind of intrigued. So I met the board, and it was a match. What they needed was really what I bring to the table as well. So it was not something where you come in and it was an amazing growth story. It was a pretty big turnaround story. Is a lot of you guys know already, so I don't have to rehash it unless you guys really want me to go into that.
You can just give
But
the Reader's Digest version.
yeah, I mean, the short of it, the company didn't have a lot of cash in the bank account at the time. There was kind of a lack of strategy. There was a call to crisis of leadership. That was really the big thing. So really had to strip everything down and change everything down really quickly, and didn't have a lot of time to do it. There was $89 in the bank account, as you guys saw in the March 31st financials. I mean, that's not there's no mystery to that. So I'm glad to and we kind of joke about that as well. So I said, reach into your pocket and you probably have more money in your pocket than we did in the bank at the time. But it's a great story. And this is one of the ones I'm most proud of, to be honest with you, because everyone said, no way you can do this, and that you're going into something. Why would you do this with your background? And it's going to only look bad for you. And this has been great. And we're just getting started, and there's a lot more to come with this.
I mean, people aren't made by not taking on big challenges, right? So you saw this as something
Absolutely
taken on, and so as you said, you feel like this is very satisfactory experience, getting to come in and turn everything around.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I would say, business is find your niche, find what you're really good at. For me, I'm great at turnarounds and raising money. So with those two pieces right there, I'm always going to have work. That's the way I look at it as well. Anybody could run a company when it's doing well and it's got tons of money in the bank and it's growing as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. You really get to see the power of leadership under strong stress. That's
Absolutely.
when you test the mettle of the people who are running the company. So
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, it's been one of those things that it's been interesting because everybody expects progress to happen overnight, and you have to realize this is my 14th month of this. It's not like I've been doing this for 3 years, and we've made it, and now it's time to really you know add some gasoline to this and really get this thing taken
oh,
off.
if you don't mind me asking, how did COVID go for you guys? Obviously, you said you've been this for 14 months, moving into it, and that was a very tumultuous time. So you're getting everything going, and then
Yeah.
bam, how did that affect?
Yeah, it's weird because personally it's been fine for me. I mean, a lot of the stuff I've done has been really the same. It's been good for business. I wouldn't say there's been a massive uptick. Our business was always going to grow regardless. I think all that COVID did was really it shifted consumers' behavior, and it also um, it forced people to not use the service, but I think it forced us in a way that we did things that we didn't do before. I never online shopped before in terms of from a grocery standpoint. I always went into a grocery store, and it was the first time I actually had done that. But with a lot of the rules and regulations changing, people weren't able to go out, and we were able to provide a lot of the services, meal kit deliveries, pharmaceuticals
Yeah.
to people, alcohol as well. So during that time, drinking was way up for a lot of people. Not me personally, but it's I was in the gym and just worked out a lot. That was one of the things I was able to do. So lucky me, right? So
Yeah, positive handling stress in a positive way. That's
absolutely.
good man, good man.
But yeah, but ultimately, no, it's been good for the company, and I think it's one of those where COVID in general it separated a lot of winners from losers. So it
True.
either you did really well or you did really poorly. That's just how it was. You can see for businesses as well. And some I have friends that some did really well and some didn't. But it
Yeah,
definitely it put a larger divergence between the haves and the have-nots overall. And
it's true.
we're
Yeah.
poised to continue to grow much more after this as well as we continue to we right size a business as well, but we were planning to adjust to a lot of those paradigm shifts as well. So we were already kind of ahead of the curve on this. So when COVID hit, we were a little bit ahead of the curve, I would say, in terms of that.
Good. Yeah, you bring up a good point with those paradigm shifts. COVID kind of accelerated the use of things like you said, buying groceries online. A lot
Absolutely.
of and like in even this, just talking online. A lot of business usually happen face to face. Even though there
Yep.
was the option, people would rather fly cross country, meet the person they're doing business with face to face.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it, as you said, it just kind of like it was an accelerant, right?
I totally agree. There's nothing like being able to look at someone's eyes and to sit across from them, break bread, and really get to know them. I would take people out on a golf course if not as many people are golfers, but that'd be a great thing to do. But to me, I enjoy getting to getting to know someone more than just a phone call as well. But one of the things you did realize, and to your point, is that there's a lot of business you can do on you now. I feel sorry for some of my friends that were consultants that were always on the road Monday to Friday on the home on the weekends, and it's ruined a lot of marriages and relationships because now suddenly you're forced to talk to your significant other all of a sudden. It makes me happy to be a single person in this time. That's for sure.
Yeah, you keep yourself company. Well, Rich, let's dive right
Absolutely.
back to what it is you do on the day to day for the company. Kind of
Hmm.
walk us through the things that you delegate and the things you work with to help lead the business to where
Hmm.
it's going.
Yeah, so my role is more of a hybrid role. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm involved in some of the sales development efforts. I work on the operations side. Some of it might be investor relations related. A lot of the typical finance day-to-day things. I do have someone who does some of the accounting work as well. So making sure we're doing that. Some of the regulatory piece, because as you know, being a public company, a lot of it is regulatory. So doing that. And I may go from dealing with legal to dealing with accounting to dealing with operations to having HR stuff and then also dealing with fine people such as yourself. So
Mhm.
that's on a day-to-day basis. That's a lot of what I'm doing.
Yeah, it makes sense. As a CEO, you are the person who handles and delegates and kind of just it gives the
Yeah.
soft hand leading the business in the right direction.
But
All
I'm
right,
also
that's
very
great.
hands-on with what I do. I mean, a lot of what I do, I still put together financial models, and I do a lot of that stuff because I enjoy doing that. It's what I cut my teeth doing when I worked in private equity. So there's certain pieces that I still love to do as well.
That's a good point. It's not good for a CEO to be completely removed from the boots on the ground approach and not
Yeah,
know the actual activities that the company is going through. So that's really interesting. Um,
absolutely.
Rich, is there anything else you want to add about yourself before we wrap this one up?
No, there's nothing much. I mean, I've enjoyed the time. I think this is, to people who invested, I'm very happy that people invested, and stay tuned. We're going to continue to grow the company. There's a lot planned in terms of expansion as well. And it just took a little time for us to get things right in terms of right sizing the business, cleaning up some of the prior things. We're in a great position from a cash standpoint, and we have a few more hires to make to kind of round up the team. But the next 12 to 24 months are going to be really, really fun. So to those who are already investors, I thank you. And to those who are just now becoming investors and watching this, I also thank you for believing in me and the vision, and looking forward to meeting all you guys one day and buying you a drink as well.
Awesome, Rich. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your insight in your past. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you have any questions for Rich or anything about things we have upcoming, let us know and we'll get some more exciting updates to you as soon as we can. Rich, have a wonderful day.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much.